Hello and welcome to Patrick's Models and Transport. I'm introducing you the short interior overview of my 1987 Fiat Regata 70S saloon. The 70S is a top of the range model. It's top of the range specification, but it's the 1300. The 70 is a 1300 basic engine, the smallest engine with it's a 1304 cc engine. And it has the full optional dashboard. So here we have the econometer, which is a typical 1980s accessory. Practically is a wee tube that connects to the air inlet of the engine, and but it works by vacuum, and it shows how much air you're sucking into the engine and corresponding amount of petrol. It's actually quite a good instrument in keeping your fuel consumption under control. So by looking at that, and also by keeping your car changing gear at 2000 revs, that's a trick for a good economy. And what else have we got? We have a speedometer. We also have a trip counter under here. I've just zeroed it because I just bought petrol and I keep my fuel consumption under control. I found some cheap petrol at €1.77. That was a great moment. We're not, yes, now at the beginning of summer petrol goes down, plus there's the European elections, and that also makes petrol go down in this country with very expensive petrol. Anyway, apart from my opinions on how things are run regarding the fuel prices, I'm waiting outside a shop, and in the distance I can see my wife is just looking through clothes. She said she went in just to look, so we're okay. Then we have the petrol gauge, of course, which is, we've got petrol, there we are, we have some petrol in here. The temperature gauge, handbrake warning light down there, of course. Then we have the rev counter, and over here we have the check panel, the electronic check panel. Electronic check panel, there are a series of sensors in various parts of the engine, of course. It's not really a computer, it's a very early computer, let's say. So if there is a fault, a wee LED bulb switches on. So for example, when you turn the ignition on, they all light up, and then they all switch off, and a wee green light switches on down there, but you can't see it now because there's too much light, which tells you that everything's good and you can actually go. And of course we have different LEDs according to what faults they would be indicating. For example, if you have a fused bulb, the topmost left, any bulb, it doesn't tell you which bulb, wee red LED starts flashing, and then you check. It might be a stop light, it might be an indicator, it might be, apart from that indicator, you'd notice it because it would start flickering. It might be a main beam or whatever, or a dip beam. Then we have the oil pressure. So if your oil pump goes west, battery, if the alternator's not charging. Open door sensor, that one wasn't working anymore. It was always flashing even if the doors were all closed. So I eventually got with a friend, we went through it and we disconnected the sensor because it was flashing non-stop. I think that doesn't work because the first owners of this car reversed into a pole or a tree, and the car was fixed, but you can still see a sign of where it was pulled and repaired. The car's straight, it's in order, but the rear boot opening, which used to be centralized, was disconnected, so I think it's got something to do with that. The boot, you open it with a key. And then of course we have brakes. This means low brake fluid or faulty brake liners. We have both types, so that is a warning. This is low brake liners, low oil level. So on the tip of the dipstick there's a sensor, and the dipstick is connected. I'll show you once when we have a look at the engine. The dipstick is connected with a cable, and there's a plug, so you have to disconnect it when you check the oil level. And of course here there's also the sensor for the radiator for overheating, or if your radiator fan or thermostat are not working, which is actually pretty comprehensive and useful. Then what else have we got in here? We also have electronically controlled ventilation. There's no air conditioning, no such thing in here, but I don't even like air conditioning, so even if I suffer the heat. But it's a well ventilated car, so how does this work? We have various positions. There's a series of wee electromotors in here that open the various flaps and such. And you can change the position. For example, here I've got the air up the way. I can choose to have it here. I can choose to point it towards my feet. And here I have, now nothing's connected, but if I do temperature plus, I can make it hot. Of course, now it's warm, I'm not putting heating on. This car has got a very, very powerful heating. Of course, if I want more air, I just push this, and the fan starts. And we have various speeds of fan like this. And that's the electronically controlled ventilation system. My wife has returned from the shops now. And of course we have electric windows. So that's all for the moment. Let's see what she tells me, what she saw in the shop. Cheerio, and see you next time.